Hello everybody, it's Baldors here. Welcome you guys to another stream. Today we're going to do a couple of things. First off, we're going to hop on a little bit of Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. If the people I've been trying to wait on for a response get back to me, we'll do something with them, and if they don't, then we'll probably just hop on something else real quick, like Crash Insane, or maybe I'll do some Spyro or something. But either way, let's just get started with Crash 4. It's about time. Not sure how long I'll be playing for this one for, because usually I like to have a plan of what I'm playing and how long I'll be playing whatever, but I don't know about tonight. So as you can tell, it's a stream Sunday, but it's actually being done on a Saturday, which is, a little bit different than the usual thing, but it was supposed to be on Saturdays, and I did it on a Sunday because I was busy with something else on that day, or else I would have most definitely have gotten to you guys about that on Sunday, whatever you want to say. I'm not sure if any volume's coming from my device, and if it's too loud, because I can't hear anything in my headphones. But if there is no sound or the sound's too high, don't be afraid to tell me in chat. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create an entirely new save slot. As you guys probably saw my terrible, save file there. Let's just do S, because it's stream Saturday / Sunday saves. But yeah. I do enjoy this game, as if anyone has seen my previous podcast. We're going to be playing with the modern style because retro would probably beat my ass. But as you guys probably saw from my last episode of my podcast, which I don't think has any views currently, but if you guys saw my last podcast, I did actually talk a bit about Crash 4. And I had kind of put it down a little bit because I didn't think it was as fun or memorable as the what's it called? Crash Wrath of Cortex. But it's a little bit more of just a nostalgia factor than anything. But I do actually really enjoy Crash 4. It's about time. But like I said, I have a bit more of a thing when it comes to Crash 4 Wrath of Cortex. But I do like this game specifically because Entropy is the main focus of the story as far as being a villain, and Entropy is just one of my favorite villains of all time. He is my favorite main storyline villain. My favorite side villain will always be Nitrous Oxide. But yeah, Entropy is the main focus of this game, and it's probably one of the big reasons why this game immediately got a stamp of approval from me. Aside from the fact, it's a Crash Bandicoot game, and I do thoroughly enjoy the series. Well, I don't know if I should say thoroughly enjoy, but I do enjoy the series quite a bit. It's honestly one of the best game series that was ever created on the original PlayStation. Next to, of course, Spyro the Dragon and the Croc series. So the unfortunate thing is that the original voice actor of Aku Aku, I think, died around the time of this game's development or release. So Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is voicing Aku Aku for this game. And that's actually one of my favorite things about this game as well, is that you got fucking Grim from Billy and Mandy, and Lonnie, a character we'll be seeing here shortly, has a very memorable voice actor as well. So let's go over here. Yeah, so the fridge magnets actually say crunch, which is cool. You can wear a sombrero. There's a Spyro floaty. So let's go ahead and get this game started. So this game is actually a lot different from the other Crash games. Oh, it's not here. So first off, right off the bat, you have the ability to double jump, which honestly I would never have even thought that you could, start with double jump in a Crash game, besides maybe Entranced. But that was back on the Game Boy Advance, and I wouldn't say it's one of the more forgettable ones, because a lot of people, I think, remember Entranced and did like Entranced, except for the fact that the beginning level of Entranced, one of the beginning levels of Entranced was what's it called? It was the Prince in Persia, or Prince of Persia. I can't remember what. I think it was Prince, like footprints in Persia. It was one of the starting levels. It was also like really, really difficult. I wouldn't know because I've only ever played the Huge Adventure. I do actually own a SNES Classic, which is modded. Not technically modded, but it's got like the ability to be able to put Game Boy Advance games and other Super Nintendo games on there. And I think I did actually put Entranced onto it, and just haven't really touched it in a long while. Mostly because I've been focusing all my time on my Animal Crossing save file. Well, Animal Crossing and Pokemon, which, now that I think about it, I might just grab my Nintendo Switch and hook up Pokemon Shield and do some shiny hunting. And if anybody joins in for the shiny hunting, which I'll be doing it on for like max layer chains, because layer chaining is one of the most efficient ways to shiny hunt. So if anybody does end up joining, as far as like chat wise goes, and I do play online, you guys can join in and probably do some layer chaining with me. Anyways, so so this game has like a gem system, which I'm surprised we haven't come across one of the gems yet. Well, we'll actually be coming across one of them here, actually. See in that hut? Gem found. There also is a gem for getting all the boxes, but that is a standard Crash gem that is in every game. And if there wasn't one, people would probably question it. For the fact that, like I said before, Crash games, typically always share one or two similarities throughout every single game. One of them being the double jump ability, and another one being what used to be the ability of the slide. Well, actually the slides in every game except for Crash 1, because Crash 1 was also notoriously difficult. Souls-like, according to some game reviewers. So there's a Tana pillow on the couch, and she's actually the Tana design from, it's technically the Insane version's redux of the Tana tokens, but it's based on Crash 1 Tana, which is very fucking nice. But I do remember, I forget what else. Oh yeah, it was the whole thing with the Crash Dash is also in just about every game except for Crash 1 and Crash 2. But Crash 1 and Crash 2 were like the beginning footsteps of Naughty Dog. So technically they have an excuse to be different, and then Crash Wrath of Cortex was technically supposed to be like Twinsanity, I think. It wasn't supposed to be like a Crash 3 clone, but ended up being a Crash 3 clone instead. But of course a lot of people like myself probably didn't end up playing Crash 3 at all in their childhood, so they didn't know it was actually a Crash 3 clone, and still like very much enjoyed it, even though it faced lots of harsh criticism because the game was kind of ugly. And like I said, it was just a remake of a game that came out, the previous game that came out. But either way, it was still fun, and it had all the same power-ups as in Crash 3, like the Crash Dash and the Fruit Bazooka. So there's the box gem, and every Crash game has the similarities of the box gems. So there is one for getting less than 3 deaths. Hold on, it'll show over here. So if you get all the boxes, if you get less than three deaths, some skins. The painter skin Coco is really adorable. But it's less than 3 deaths, find a hidden gem and get all the boxes in the level. And then I got the insanely perfect relic because I managed to beat the level without dying at all. Don't be expecting me to get a lot of those because this game is notoriously difficult. Like, it's a major difficulty spike than what I'm used to from Crash Bandicoot. But even then, I never actually beaten Crash 1 yet, so that probably explains a little bit of it. Like, I think I played bits and pieces of the original Crash 1 when I was younger, and even coming back to when I was older, it pretty much just leaned me over its knee and spanked me because of how fucking bad I am at video games. But then again, like I said, Crash 1 was known to be difficult to many. Alright. Spin that guy out of the way. So we have a nice little fun thing with ropes. It's fun. I don't think... I was going to say I think Crash has a thing with ropes before, but I could be very much wrong. I might be I might be actually just confusing it with the whole thing in the monkey bars sections, which were in both Crash... Well, we're in Crash 2 first, but they also appeared in 3 and in Wrath of Cortex. But the ones in Crash 3 were a lot better than the ones in Wrath of Cortex because Crash 3, they were actually a little bit faster. Alright, so Toys for Bob, I do have to give some major props for this game because the whole thing of being able to spin a nitro crate or spin a box underneath a nitro crate is possible without killing yourself. Because back in the old games, if you spun near a TNT crate, excuse me, not a nitro crate, if you spun near a TNT crate, you would end up blowing yourself up. So, being able to just spin near a TNT crate and not detonate the TNT crate, I have to give you major props there. Honestly, hats off to you. So let's do this bonus level here. Whoop. Okay. So while holding circle, well, you can hold circle or you can hold R1. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another really awesome thing was there are bouncy, those bouncy crates have 10 Wumpa Fruit in them. And in the original Crash 2, they took, well, I think it was Crash 1 and Crash 2, they took 10 bounces to get all the fruit out of there. And then in Crash 3, they edited it to where it's 2 fruits per bounce, making it 5 bounces. And then that rule has stuck throughout every single Crash game since, which was just the greatest change ever, because going back and playing Crash 2, after playing like hours of insane Crash 2, I ended up actually almost dying over and over because I forgot about the whole rule bounce where it's 10 bounces, not 5. Alright, so there actually is a little cryptic message here. So it says to start in the technical first from the left side and then jump in a complete square. And in the middle you'll earn something. Okay. So we had to start with this one. Hey, the red gem. Definitely a lot different than in Crash 2. Did I get all the boxes? I feel like I'm missing one. Nope, I think I got them all. Alright, so let's go get this. So like I said, I don't know if there's any sound coming from this, but in case you can't hear the sound, the voice of this mask is a very iconic voice, as it is the same voice as Zim from the Invader Zim series, as well as Billy and Mandy, and I forget his name in the Hell of a Boss series, but I'm pretty sure that he's the same exact guy. I'm almost positive because their voices are, because him and Zim's voice are way too, distinct to not be the same person. Unless, of course, they're doing like the guy for the Yo Mama jokes animations. where he's able to sound just like Patrick Warburton, then maybe it's just somebody doing a thing, but I'm almost positive they're all the same person. Said I've been wrong many, many times before. So I'm not going to be surprised if I'm wrong here too. Alright, so I'm going to... Okay, it's not in this level. Whee! Alright, we got to run away from this giant thing chasing us. So you're supposed to slide underneath those, but if you time your spin right, you can actually knock them out of your way. Which is just awesome. So he's going to destroy that final box for us. Thankfully it counts. Oh god, yes. Insanely perfect, the perfect relic in the first try. In the first try, yeah. That is something I actually managed to not be able to do in my first ever run, was get the insanely perfect relic on this level, because that middle platform section kept screwing me up, because it is so annoying having to jump back and forth between stuff on a constant basis. But it's only because of the whole, there's also those nitro crates, and you'll end up spinning and destroying those the TNT crates. I always confuse TNT and nitro, but it's also because I'm still kind of nervous and still not used to this whole thing. But yeah, that whole thing with the TNT crates, I ended up actually spinning them. I actually ended up spinning them on occasions and ended up screwing up my entire thing of getting a insanely perfect relic on the first try. But, I finally got this one, which is awesome. So let me tell you a little bit of how I was able to capture this. So, a lot of people probably do know that when it comes to the PlayStation 4, it has a thing called a HDCP enabled at all times, which is high definition copy protection, which when this is enabled, you can't record on a standard recording device unless, of course, you have a special kind of HDMI splitter, and it'll just overwrite the high definition copy protection and allow you to use without having to turn off the copy protection. So in order for you to use it normally like I am, you have to turn off your copy protection, but until you turn it back on, you can't use your video streaming services, which is understandable because of, possible theft. But, yeah, I turned off my high definition copy protection, and I'm playing this through my Elgato HD60S. I managed to get a hold of one of those a little while back, and I'm finally actually getting able to test this out on stream. I got it because of Pimp Night showing off how he's able to record his videos. All right, so this one, this is when the insanely perfect relics stop happening. And even then, I might just come back and play this more later on more solo streams, because I got a feeling that tonight is going to be a solo one, as I have not heard anything back from the people who I haven't heard anything back from anybody. Either they were all working or they might have forgotten, which doesn't really matter to me, because you got a lot more important things, and you get a lot more important things probably in life going on right now. Which I hope they, or if they're hearing this, they take it as, an understanding kind of, thing, not more of an insulting kind of thing. Because in all honesty, I don't really give a shit if you're not able to, make it here, because, I don't feel like I should be at the top of a priority list or anything. By no means. Because, in all honesty, I'd put my family before anything else, so I would expect everybody else would probably do the same thing too. Or if they have, some personal issues going on, I'd rather, you resolve them before you would, worry anything about somebody else. It's, like I said, it's more of just an understanding thing, and I'm not really pissed off at all. I mean, hell, there's even, more weekends that we can possibly do this. Alright, so welcome to Lonnie Lowly stages. So Lonnie Lowly has a thing where you can shift things in and out of reality, which is actually really fun. So there's this puzzle requires us to jump, smack, phase, jump, phase. Alright, phase this back. I do actually like Lonnie Lowly. He's one of my favorite of the masks. I do know who all the masks are. I have actually beaten the final boss of this game. But I have not fully completed the game to its, fullest extent. Because that's a pretty tall order in and of itself, if any of you have ever 100%ed this game or attempted to 100% this game. I mean, hell, even Cat Icarus goes into detail about how tough it is. Phase. Damn it. It like detonated 1 second after phasing. Alright, so 2 sand sharks. So we're gonna spin away those megaphones. If you do the first one when you enter this world, you actually get an achievement for it, which I had discovered on complete accident. Alright, so nitro crates detonate upon touch. So you're going to want to avoid any and all nitro crates as much as possible. Alright, so there goes my insanely perfect relic. As I said before, I'm not going to be going for 100% on this game because it's a pretty tall order to ask in of itself. But if you guys want to see me do a 100% run, I will probably make arrangements to probably attempt. But if I, end up quitting in the middle of it, you guys cannot blame me because this game it's a tall order. Like, it's a tall enough order that I'm almost positive if you go anywhere and try to get something like a gigantic ass order, they would probably be almost like 9 to the 10th way attempted to say fuck you. Because that's how bad this fucking game is. Alright. So we managed to phase past 2 nitros. Now I can actually say that and mean to say nitro. God, that feels good. Alright, so no more Lonnie Lowly for this section at least. So don't be like me and accidentally destroy those boxes too early, because I've done that before and I've ended up having to wonder what the hell was going on, like why am I missing boxes? But yeah, back to that thing about the Elgato. Like the Elgato HD60S capture device is probably one of the most easiest capture devices I've ever worked with in my times. Because before I used to have I don't know if it's a Hopage or Hoppage, whatever it is, but I had one of those, like the HD DVR 2. And I did not get along with it whatsoever. So I think there's actually a hidden gem in this, and it's a hidden box up here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little bit of tingling in my nose. So we're going to blow up that TNT box. And then come back and get these. Alright. So another thing is that this game also has a really tall order when it comes to the getting all the boxes. Because the developers like to do a thing where they hide boxes on you in places that you'll least expect them to be. It is worse than trying to get time relics with a sore pinky. Or no, it's worse than trying to get a time relic with a paper cut underneath your fingernail and you have itchy balls. That's how fucking difficult it is with getting along with some of these boxes. There's 2 deaths. If I die 2 more times, I end up losing my ability to get a less than 3 death gems. But as I said before, I'm not doing I'm not doing a 100% run, and I need to, not friggin' keep rushing like I am, or keep worrying about it like I am, in the middle of a speedrun marathon and end up fucking everything up. because I am by no means a speedrunner. I'm too terrible at video games to speedrun. But, yeah, I've worked, like, getting these boxes is really, really fucking hard. And there is even some where I've literally went through every possible way to get the box to figure out it's actually part of the scenery. Like, there is one that's coming up in this world, and you guys will see exactly what I mean when it comes to having an annoying ass box placement, because it's a box placement that you would never, actually it's right here, you would never think in 100 years jump in these tires, because any other time that you played a Crash game, if it's off screen like that, there's a good 99% chance it's going to guarantee death. But even then, it's also that weird thing in Crash 4, Breath of Cortex, with that mammoth in the water. If you were to... I killed myself on the bonus, but thankfully bonus deaths don't count towards anything. But the mammoth in the water at the end of Arctic Antics, if you're to jump on that mammoth, you actually get a free 1-up for whatever reason. I did not know this when I was younger until I did it one day by accident. And ever since then, I've always managed to hit that mammoth when I played Arctic Antics. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's a genius. Boing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kerplop. And if you phase on top of a box, it'll just automatically explode, as you guys just saw there. So I can't die anymore for this run if I want to get that, 3 death or less gem, which I at least want to attempt that. Also, by the way, if you don't get that box, you will not be able to get it. And there's also another one right over here. Yeah, you wouldn't have, thought to jump in these tires. So at least Toys for Bob does give a little bit of points there as well for making you, have to think. But even then, this is a Crash game, and you shouldn't have to think that hard about box placements. So that is both a +1 to Toys for Bob and also a -1 to Toys for Bob. So I think I have to navigate that area backwards, because I think there is a box or two I missed in that section. So let's go back. Okay, there actually is no boxes at all. You would have missed out on boxes if you didn't go the other way to begin with. But hey, I managed to navigate without dying. Probably because it's like the shortest friggin' section in the game. But trust me, these areas get a lot worse in the later levels. But Crash is one of those games where it's, a difficulty spike based on level progression, which not a lot of games do that anymore. Maybe they do, I just don't play a lot of new games, because a lot of the new games end up getting ruined for me on the internet, because people will the way that some people act about these games gets on my nerves a little bit. Like, there's nothing wrong with new games that come out, but some people just act like, they're the best freaking thing in the universe. Or then you got some people who will just belittle the game in all possible ways. Like, take for example Animal Crossing New Horizons. Anytime that New Horizons releases something, people are already in the comment section on the Twitter post complaining about it, because it's not adding anything. Son of a bitch. Yeah, there's the hidden gem up there. But yeah, they're going to be complaining about something small or whatever. And we missed the box anyway. See what I mean about this fucking game? I don't even know what box I missed. That's the problem. Also, if the game looks kind of like shit to you guys, I'm sorry. I don't know. Actually, I think I'm gonna, mess around with this real quick. Apply a filter to it. Actually, we had a filter on it. Alright, so it should be looking better. So if you're watching this far into the VOD, or the recording of this video, which I highly doubt probably people are, because this is honestly probably pretty boring. But if you're watching any further into this, video, sorry I did not notice that filter was on there until just a little bit ago. I don't usually fuck around with my video settings at all when I record stuff. But granted, the most I've ever recorded is just a picture for a background, and it's probably why people don't watch the Pound Pals podcast, because they were probably expecting something to be on the screen so they can enjoy that while they watch my video. So I think I might just throw something in there later on that would, unlike a later video, if I ever do any more Pound Pals podcast. So we're going to do Crash Compactor. We'll probably play either for 1 hour or until after the my favorite world of the game is done. Whichever one I decide to stop at first. Because my favorite world of the game is actually, I think, the next one. I talked about it in the last episode of the Pound Pals podcast. Which, like I said, I wouldn't blame you guys if you guys don't watch it. It's pretty fucking boring, probably. Oh, yeah. Another new thing Toys for about it was the flashback tapes. So flashback tapes unlock secret levels that are hidden in the game if you want to torture yourself even more when playing this game. The flashback levels actually aren't all that bad. I actually really, really like the flashback levels. It's one of my favorite inclusions. Next to some of the filters of the inverted, well, actually I shouldn't spoil that because we won't be seeing that till probably after the next world. But the flashback tapes are by far like a really awesome inclusion. As much as I probably like bagged on him in the last podcast episode, I do actually enjoy some of them. But like I said before, with the whole thing of hating on Crash 4, I don't necessarily hate Crash 4. It's just I have more of a nostalgia thing towards Crash Wrath of Cortex. But I still do really enjoy both of these games. Like, honestly. Like, I may, shit on some other games. Like, for instance, I'm not really a big fan of the Gen 4 Pokemon games. I'm not really a big fan of Undertale. But that doesn't mean I hate those games entirely. Not really. I mean, Undertale just got on my nerves because of the fact that everything was Megalovania for a long while. Megamix! I forgot about him being in this game. He does make a small cameo here. Megamix is like the super boss from I think it was Huge Adventure? Yeah, he was the super boss in Huge Adventure. The red gem path is actually unlocked. Sweet. Yeah, another classic Crash staple is the gem paths. There's going to be one that's a lot fucking worse than this one later on. Okay, so I can't get to that rock. See, Toys for Bob is making you think that you can access every area because, they decided to hide some crates and some tires. But, they have, like, gem paths. Of course, you have to get to the gems in the level and then go find the level that has the gem path hidden in it. Another really fun thing they did with the gems was there actually was gem cups. Not like, a drinking cup. But there was gem cups in Crash Team Racing, which were kind of fun. Like you had to find CTR tokens, which is you had to find the CTR letters throughout the track and then win first place, which for its time was kind of like different when it comes to racing games. And I did, really enjoy doing the CTR tokens because it reminded me a lot of one of my favorite racing games of all time, Diddy Kong Racing. Where in Diddy Kong Racing you had to, if you beat the boss of the area, you had to redo all the levels of the main domain and beat... Oh, I missed a couple crates, but that's fine because like I said, I'm not going for 100% in this run. But if you did beat the main boss of the domain and you went back, or after you defeated him, they're like, I've hidden silver coins in every one of the tracks. Go find all 10 silver coins and win. Alright, so at that crate I hit earlier, if you did not hit that crate, this door would not be opened, and you would not be able to access this hidden gem. Trust me, it took me a little bit to actually figure that one out, because that crate was actually shown right in plain sight. But it was also kind of my fault for watching, because I like to watch videos when I play video games, as the whole thing of the sound of the video playing in the background, or even the music I'm listening to, will help sway my focus away from the main game. Because if I focus on the game, I end up fucking up because I'm too busy, worrying about how the game's going to go. And that's one thing you got to be able to, channel out, is your focus from the game. I've been able to do that when I was younger. That's what helped me get a lot of my, I guess you can consider achievements, like high scores in games like SSX Tricky and, couple other games, but the main one was SSX Tricky. I used to, back when I had an MP3 player, which I wouldn't, necessarily joke and say that this generation probably doesn't know what an MP3 player is, because technically MP3 players I think are still around today, which is kind of weird considering that they're kind of a piece of history like the iPod, which I remember back in middle school, actually, when everybody had iPods, because I didn't actually get my first phone until, I want to say, 9th grade year. Actually, no, I think I had one before 9th grade, but I think my first one actually was, well, technically my first one, because the one that I had before that one was one of those ancient flip phones, but I loved that thing. But my technical, first ever, touchscreen phone was not till 8th grade. And around that time, my mom had an iPhone. Like, I think it was the iPhone 3, maybe it was the iPhone 4. But I know that she had an iPhone at that time, which was a lot better than what I thought it was better than what my phone was. Because I don't remember what my first phone was, but it was a touchscreen Android. Because I've always been an Android user versus an Apple user. Except when it comes to like certain things. Like when it comes to computers, I don't buy Macs because 2, 3, 4, 5. The ones that we got at school were like complete garbo. I'm missing a crate. Is it a nitro? Oh, it's right up there. Yeah, it was a touchscreen Android. I can't remember what model phone it was, but it was a really tiny one. It kind of looked like a weird version of an MP3 player. Or an MP4 player, technically, because it had a touchscreen. And MP4 players are a bit more advanced than MP3s. At least, that's what I like to think so. I don't know much about technology. So there's a nitro in the middle of all those, so don't try to spin them. Just try to bounce instead. Let's grab this checkpoint. Lonnie Loli. So there's a path over here. How the hell did I dodge that? Top 10 questions not even science can answer. Jump up here. Smack. But yeah, when it comes to computers, I do not use MacBooks because I hate MacBooks. When it comes to phones, I absolutely hate iPhones. because I actually had an iPhone, like a iPhone, I can't remember what generation it was, but it was one with the home button, I want to add, and a headphone jack. But it was gold on the back. And I had that thing for about maybe 2 to 3 years, and then, well, before that one it was actually a 5C, so it might have actually been an iPhone 5. But it had a 5C for a short while, which was light blue. I loved that thing. And then I got a 5 Gold, and I hated it. But I had that for a good little while. And then I gave it to my mom because she likes iPhones better than me. I don't know why I died there. I think I was trying to get to that crate up there, but I gotta do it on the inverse side. But I gave it to my mom, and she had it for a couple years, and then she gave it to my younger sister, and then it one day it just gave up. But yeah, that phone lasted for a good long time, like a lot longer than I anticipated a phone to last. But when it comes to phones, usually with me, I take the utmost amount of care with a phone. I don't think I've only ever broken one phone I've ever owned. Because what happened is that I was playing Final Fantasy, the one on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I'm totally a Final Fantasy fan. I was playing the Final Fantasy game on the Super Nintendo with my friend one day. Because this was before he moved in. It was before he was my roommate. We were playing that, and it was dinner time, and I stood up, and my phone had landed straight on the carpet, which I thought was going to be protected because it's carpet. And it shattered the screen, and I was about to fucking sob. It was a Galaxy S7. Oh, by the way, you can play as Coco in this game, in any level. So I think for buying it says for digital downloads, which this game only came out on digital, unless it's got a physical release somewhere, which I don't know. You get Marsupial Erectus, Serious Upgrade, and Bare Bones, which I'm not sure how to unlock this one, unless it's just recently added for free. But, I think Serious Upgrade and Marsupial Erectus are defaultly unlocked. So it's totally tubular to Coco here. Oh yeah, the skin names are also kind of funny, like Mother Clucker. Let's do Marsupial Erectus. It's one of my favorite skins on Crash, next to his paper cut skin and his Persona skin. Hit the road. So I think this one actually has a really unique little unlock sequence for a gem, or it's maybe it's the one I'm thinking of. It has kind of a reference to the Atlas Spear from the original Crash 4, which was a Wrath of Cortex. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. Also, if anyone has jumped in, hello. So this world is kind of based around probably I'm only assuming Mad Max because when I bought Baldors Gate, Descent into Avernus, a module for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, people in the review had said it was like Mad Max in Dungeons & Dragons. I myself have never seen a Mad Max film, so I'm just going to assume that Mad Max is sort of post-apocalyptic, or has like a lot of references to like Armageddon and Hell. So there's something about a barrel and a green barrel and a gem inside of it. That'll be probably later on. I hit the electric barbed wire. Because I'm bad at video games. But yeah, it said it was like Mad Max and Dungeons and Dragons. So I hope that it's going to be kind of fun, because I never actually got around to asking my friends if we can do Baldors Gate, because I'm kind of running a pulled from my ass campaign right now, and it's going pretty okay, I would assume. Everybody's having fun, and it's not hit the point where it's, boring, so I must be doing something right. Either that or they're just being nice. I think there's actually a flashback tape up near here, and I screwed it up because I died. So that's the thing about flashback tapes, is that you have to get to them without dying in order for it to count. But after you collect it, you can die as much as you want. Touching the chain kills you. This is part of the reasons why I never really liked stream video games, because I'm really bad at video games. So these are new crates as well. They shoot out fires on occasion. And as you probably have guessed, if you do touch the fire, you do die, unless you have an Aku Aku. Because Crash's general rule of thumb is, it's one hit, you're dead, unless you have an Aku Aku. Then it's one extra hit, or two if you have two Aku Akus. Then invincibility if you have three. So here's where the flashback tape would be, but I screwed it up. But like I said, if I come back to play this game in a different stream later on in the future, I'll attempt to get everything if people really want to see a 106% run. Then I'll probably just end up rage quitting after maybe 5 streams. Not all is lost here. That was a definite ass cheek clencher. I don't care who you are. Actually, all is lost now. Nope, I spoke way too soon. In the wise words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, can I get a hell yeah? Actually, that wasn't really that impressive. Anybody could have done that if they had a controller in their hand and was playing Crash 4. Probably. I'm only saying that because I know a general consensus of people that are probably 80 times better in video games than I am. So I get a free Aku Aku here. Okay, that wasn't as dramatic as I was making it out to be. Probably. What the hell? Okay, that was just some commie bullshit right there. Alright, fuck off. Hit this. Okay. And I did not want a damage boost there. Approaching that 1 minute mark where I'm going to be switching over. Alright, so we're going to activate this moving platform here. Hey, I did it first try. Yay. I actually was kind of nervous I wouldn't have been able to do that. Whee! Alright, Lonnie Loli time. Here we go. And I messed up. That's okay, though. I'm not going to be able to do a perfect run of this game anyway. So I would have had to get all the boxes in the last level, and I somehow missed one, which I don't know what one I missed, because I got the hidden ones in the scenery. Oh, no. I slid into the fires. Hang on a minute, I just got a text message. Okay, nothing important. Alright, no more Lonnie Loli time. Well, I think there's actually one more section where we have to go Lonnie Loli. which I don't mind because he's actually one of my favorite of the masks, as I said earlier, but there might have been maybe a couple people who have joined in since then. Okay, I was looking over at chat when that happened, so I apologize for making such an easy screw up. So I do want to say that if I do end up doing another podcast episode, which would possibly be for tomorrow or for Monday, I'm thinking of tomorrow as if it's Sunday because I streamed last Sunday instead of on Saturday. But it would be for Monday's upload. It'll probably be talking about either movies versus their book counterparts versus their movie counterparts, or it will be about the whole thing of like shows getting reboots and revivals, and how some can do it, good, but how some can, do it terribly. But I think I might save the whole thing of reboots and revivals for a little bit, because I know that iCarly's revival is coming up here soon, and we've already been getting some details about it, which is unfortunate that Jeanette McCurdy won't be returning for the series, but it's only because she has said herself that she is done with acting, which I'm not, too upset because of that. You gotta, put yourself first in every situation. But we still have no confirmation on if Gibby and Guppy from the original series are coming back or not. So I don't even have Paramount Plus, so I don't know what I'm too worried about. Alright, so if you spin this trash can, this remote control comes out. And if you spin the remote control, it spawns an RC car. If you spin the remote, the RC car moves backwards, back into the nitro crate for a free green gem. That is actually one of the best hidden gems in this game. Like, I remember seeing that for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. But yeah, I want to probably wait a little bit to see how the iCarly's reboot is being, handled, because I don't want to, do a thing where I mention it briefly and it'd be actually good. But even then, I'm not gonna give an opinion on it, belittling it or saying it's complete garbage, because I don't have Paramount Plus and I don't plan on buying Paramount Plus, unless maybe it's to watch the Beavis and Butthead revival movie, because I've been binge watching the original series. We did miss a couple boxes, but that's okay. I need to quit worrying about getting 100%, because, like I said, we're not doing it this time. We're not doing it, right now. But I'm not going to, give an opinion on the iHarley reboot, because I'm probably not even myself going to watch it, because I don't know if it's going to be any good, and I want to, get some kind of, feedback from people before I go waste a bunch of money on Paramount Plus to just watch one movie. Because it's a lot like, going and buying Amazon Prime Video only for it to be just to watch one season of Forged in Fire, which, if you guys haven't seen that show, I do highly recommend you guys give it a check out, because it is actually really, really awesome. Because I heard about it back when I was at work. It was probably like my second or third year at work, and one of my coworkers was telling me about how he watched it with his wife, and they both really enjoyed the series. So here's our first technical boss of the game, Rocket Head. I remember seeing this in the preview. It's actually a really cool boss. So essentially, Engine's going to beat on this drum. And we have to spin these guys back at the amplifier in the front here. It's blocking our path. So then a bunch of amps will get stacked up for us to make a platform to get to Rocket Head. Now, this is timed, so you have to get up there and spin on the head as quickly as possible. I was going to say, it has that common trope where the face is the weak point, but actually I think the more common trope is you have to hit the ass of the enemy. Oh my god. Thankfully there is checkpoints. I think they do remove these in the life-based ones. I might be wrong. I don't play with the retro style. I always play with modern because having checkpoints is nice. Alright, so the green ones you have to jump over, and the red ones you gotta duck. You can slide, but it's a lot more risky to slide than it is to duck. So this is like supposed to be like a concert setting, which I can't really grade the thing of this being completely accurate, because considering I've only ever been to one concert, and that was the Kiss farewell tour concert here in my home state, which was fucking awesome. Because my friend got tickets and he had asked me if I wanted to go with him, and I'm like, sure. I'd never been to a concert before. And so one night I kind of forgotten about it, because that was at least 3 months before it had actually happened. So the day that it came, I was like, oh wait, yeah, I forgot about that. But we went and we had a blast. It was awesome. They were, classics like Rock and Roll All Night and Detroit Rock City. There's a couple other songs, but I can't remember off the top of my head of what all they were. Like Lick It Up was one of them. I remember because they got on the mic and they're like, this song is probably probably a lot older than all of you are, and probably if your parents were here, you guys would know this song. Because me being 24, I wasn't really around all that long. And he was telling us about his connections to the home state, to my home state, I should say. I don't like revealing too much information. Not like, I'm going to get doxxed or anything, but, there's always that possibility, and you can never be too safe. But, actually, it's in my freaking profile if you guys really, really want to know more about where my home state is. So I guess it's technically in Indiana. So it was over at, in Fort Wayne. And, like I said, that concert was awesome. I think the opening act was David Lee Roth, which he was singing a bunch of like the old Van Halen songs. The generation of Van Halen that I remember, that my dad actually likes a lot. Like my mom likes some of older Van Halen, but most of the music she has on her phone is from Van Hagar, which is when Roth left the band and and Sammy Hagar took over for David Lee Roth. Which I'm not really too big on Sammy Hagar. Maybe there's like one song that I know by them that I, actually thought was kind of, bearable to listen to. Not really bearable. I didn't, enjoy the song, but anyways, we, defeated Rocket Head. And classic thing of the boss's thing exploding. So engine bounces off each of those drums right in front of us. So like I said, if this next world isn't the world that I think it is, I'll be switching over to Pokemon Shield shiny hunting, which will be through max layer chains. So if you guys are, which I'll be going online for, for a little bit. Mostly because doing solo, a lot of the computer players are really, really terrible. Because they'll get a Pokemon that's got moves that needs to be able to be used to be able to defeat this Pokemon. Okay, it's the Pirate Seas. It's not the world that I enjoy the most. So, I'm going to just save the game here. I'm going to go get my Switch, and we'll be back in business when I get back. Shit, sorry. Alrighty, we're back in business. As soon as my switch wants to pick up signal. Why is it a black screen? The HDMI cord's in there. It's in properly. Oops, no. Why isn't my switch picking up? Let me get a different HDMI cord, hang on. Got a different HDMI cord, maybe this one will work. If I can't get this one to work, then I guess I'll have to end the stream early tonight because I don't know what all of a sudden made it want to stop, wanting to work right. My first ever live stream fail. But definitely, probably most definitely not the last one either. Seriously, what the fuck? Why doesn't it want to show up? I'm gonna quit the Elgato program and try it again. See, maybe that's the problem. Because I seriously don't know what's going on with my computer right now. Or my Elgato, I should say. Just going up to a blank screen and I got visuals on my Switch. So no, it's not it. worked the last time I had it on there. Seriously, what's going on? Alright, let's try it now. And it's still not showing up. What the fuck? Well, I didn't get my switch to turn on, so, or work on the Elgato, so we're probably not going to be doing that tonight. Sorry to disappoint sorry if I disappointed anyone, but my console's just being a fuck. Normally it doesn't do this. I don't know why it's doing this right now. I don't think it's because it's not, you know... Oh, there we go. Finally, I got it back online. I had to unplug the Elgato from the computer itself and then turn it back on. Alright, so let me go ahead and switch up my cartridge here. It says I was playing that because I had accidentally turned it on when I was trying to figure out why the fuck it was not letting me stream my Nintendo Switch. But I got it figured out. I'll have to be sure to tell the editor to maybe cut down on the amount of time there. Actually, we'll just keep the entire stream recording raw because I might make mentions of it later on and people will be like, well, what are you talking about? It never happened in the video. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm sorry that took so long as it did. I did not anticipate my Nintendo Switch to do that. That is entirely the system's fault. So if I had bored you from that big long ass wait, then I'll try not to let it happen next time, honestly. Alright, so we're going to be getting on to the max layer chains, as that's the more fun way, in my opinion, to do shiny hunting. But it's only because you can get your shiny Pokemon a lot faster. So I'm going to update the stream game to Pokemon Shield. Okay, apparently I have to do it this way because I don't know how to type an accented E. We're in blue, let's go Pikachu, Sword and Shield, here we go. Update. There we go, so now nobody's confused of why it says Crash 4. Although it's, not Crash 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and, well, first we're going to go into here. Wrong menu. It's been a little while since I've actually played this again, believe it or not. I used to play this at least once a day for a couple hours because I used to do the streams for when the Milcery or Milkery, however you pronounce it. I think it's Milcery. Whenever it was a Dynamax available one, and I went and caught like a shit ton of them. So I could have, a lot of them available and get a lot of the rewards. So, I used to play that like every day, all day, every single day for a little while, until I had to go to work, of course. And then there was a short while where I've been doing some shiny hunting, which if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys would see my updates about that. But this is my main profile, which is Kayame. She is my female trainer that I had embarked on a journey with back when I first got Pokemon Shield, because when I played Pokemon games, I always played a male character named after my actual name. Of course, Beagle3280. Not really. I used to play it as male characters all the time. And so I decided that when it come to this game, I was going to play as a female character because my friend had also played as a female character. And I never, experienced the fun of what it's like playing as the girl. And I honestly had a load of fun playing as her and being able to buy a bunch of different little clothing options for her. So here we are with the first max chain. So our options are Octillery, Lilligant, and Liepard. That is until Joey had took Lilligant, which I don't blame him because that Lilligant is actually one of my favorite Pokemon available here. So we're just going to take Heatmore because we have a Ice Dark type, a Grass type, a Water type, and now a Pure Fire type. So we have coverage across most, and I already see a Druddigon. Druddigon is one of my all-time favorite dragon types, so I'm going to possibly see if they will go along with my plan to take Druddigon. They probably went for Gourgeist, yep. That's okay. So, because usually a thing is with my friend when we did max chain layers a lot was if Druddigon's available, we have to pick him. Of course, I'd also, try to see if I would not be able to get Shiny Druddigon, because Shiny Druddigon is one of my least favorite Pokemon Shinies of all time, next to Ursaring and Sneasel. Also, a starter Pokemon that you get, you can never be shiny, which is nice in some cases, because like if you start with Tyrantrum, it's kind of a big, problem, because Tyrantrum shiny is really, really cool. It's actually one of the more cooler blue shinies when it comes to hit the bottom of my desk. But when it comes to shinies in general, the blue shinies and the black shinies are the most awesome shinies of them all, in my personal opinion. So Triple Axle hit twice. Pollen Puff. It's gonna go for Max Flare on probably this Sneasel. In a way, I'm kind of surprised it didn't go for the Lilligant. But then again, Sneasel has Ice type coverage against it, as it being a grass ghost. It has a weakness to Ice types. So it kind of makes sense that he went after the Ice type as opposed to the Grass type with a Fire type move. But even then, not everybody plays Pokemon the same way that I do. Of course, if they did, they probably would not be getting very fucking far anywhere. It's not entirely true. I managed to actually beat the game. Oh yeah, Triple Axle. Of course, I actually had a pretty decent team. I had a Yemper, a Grookey's my starter. A couple other Pokemon I can't remember off the top of my head, but the main reason why I did win actually was because I had Dracovish carry me throughout most of the game. So that's probably why I won a lot of the battles I did, was because Dracovish is not a balanced Pokemon at all. And by the way, the reason why I'm catching everything in timer balls is because timer balls are my favorite Pokeball of them all. The design of the red and black and the white is just so nice. That's actually not a bad Pokemon, but I'm going to stick with my Heatmore because the ability to just Fire Lash stuff is awesome. It's actually part of the reason why. So they're probably gonna. It's a Psychic at the end, so we're probably gonna be fighting this Bug type here, which is Nincada, I think. No, it's Ninjask. Or it could be Vespiquen, actually. I don't know why I thought Ninjask. I think it's Vespiquen. We'll probably never be able to get to use this, but I always take the weakness policy because weakness policy is one of the best items in the game. So we got Muscle Band, I think that's the wide glasses, and a Focus Sash. I don't know items by icons except for weakness policy, and there's a couple other ones because their names are like the boots, the hazard boots. They're pretty self-explanatory in their name. So we got a Vespiquen. I think it's a pure bug type, but it might be a bug flying. Feel free to correct me if I am in any way wrong, because I can take criticism. Actually, I think we have a way to check that. Bug flying. Yep. Okay. I'm going to hit with a Fire Lash because Overheat is more of a last resort move. As with Overheat, what happens is upon use, you will do an ass load of damage, but in return, you will take a big dip in your special attack stat. Granted, I think Fire Lash is a physical attack. No, I think it's special. I'll check here in a minute. I'm pretty sure it's a special attack, or maybe it even is a physical attack because you kind of have you kind of hit them with something. But even then, something like, well, most ground type moves, you wouldn't think Earthquake is physical, but it is. Why they were attacking artillery, I don't know. Because, yet again, we have a Lilligant over there, but then again, this is a bug flying type where it has a quad effectiveness against Lilligant. So, out of the respect of the fact that neither of them have Dynamaxed for this run, I won't be Dynamaxing either. And I forgot to freaking check if it was a physical or special attack. Oh, I do have my phone near me, so I can actually just check Datadex. Hopefully none of the sound upstairs is getting picked up. I don't think it is, though. But if it is, then it's not my control. Datadex. Here we go. Don't worry, I see the Vespiquen's dead, so I'm going to go catch it real quick. Just in case it happens to be a shiny. So I don't know if anybody's taking this Vespiquen, but I'm probably going to stick with my... Well, if nobody takes the Vespiquen, I'll probably switch out of my Heatmore. Fire Lash is a physical move, just like I thought. So let's see if anybody's going to take this Vespiquen. It has Pressure, which is a very nice ability, because Pressure makes it to where you use 2 power points upon using a move, as opposed to using a standard 1. So we already know that Sneasel's not switching out because it's already got dark. It's already got dark to cover the psychic typing. So Joey wants it, so I'll let Joey have him or have her because Vespiquen is an always female species. As it was a Pokemon introduced that let me actually. They've already decided on one. Holy shit! I'm going to guess it was probably the Lycanroc. Maybe it was the Pikachu or the Raichu. It was a Lycanroc. Holy crap. Oh yeah, because we actually need to heal. And the only way you can heal in these in this arena is you have to either pick the berry that will heal you upon taking enough damage, or you have to find a berries on the floor. And I'm sorry about the whole thing, the JFK thing. I only do that because it slips out on occasions. It's yeah. Anyways, these trainers are actually kind of cool. We got the one with the golden explorer's outfit, and we got one that's trying to do like a color match of black and white, which I do very much like. We'll do a 1-turn solar beam because I don't want to get up 2 turns, which I already am taking up 2 turns just to set up Sunny Day, but I hope I don't end up actually fucking our artillery now that I think about it. Because using Sunny Day will make it to where he has to... oh, there goes Sneasel. That's the problem with Sneasel. All of his stat points are put into speed. So we're going to use Sunny Day just because I want to get a 1-turn solar beam. I'm probably going to end up fucking up my artillery, and I hope that, they're not too mad at me for that. If at all. Revenge. Alright. So actually I think Lycanroc will have the exception. I'm going to throw 1 Beast Ball at him. Just because Shiny Lycanroc and a Beast Ball sounds like really cool to me. Alright, so he's going to cheer on our side. Aw, man. So he's got the Champion's outfit, which I don't remember if that's a pre-order thing or if that's an event thing. It's been a little while since I've done anything that requires pre-orders or events, in all honesty. Vespiquen is Dynamaxed. Oh, yeah, he's going to use Max Knuckle, which is going to make us all a little bit stronger. Solar Beam. And I could use it this turn because I used Sunny Day before. Boom! Scald. So I think that actually gets rid of the Sunny Day effect. It might actually stay. If it does, then I'm going to feel really bad because that Octillery could have killed that thing a lot quicker. Well, then again, I think actually the Dynamax Pokemon in the raid dens get a bit of a boost in defense. Because they don't want you, going in and just one-shotting everything. Because technically, you probably, with a strong enough build, you probably technically could just one-shot it. So I don't know much about that, because I don't really study competitive. I just, play the whole game based on the rock, paper, scissors way that it was built to be. Alright, he's going to nullify all our stat changes. And the abilities that were passive or active, and he's going to kill the Sneasel yet again because he's an asshole. That sucks. So we got 2 more lives that we can use before we're completely dead. Oh, the Sunny Day was still out and we still got him. This actually isn't the Lycanroc form I do like the most. I mean, the one I like the more than anything is the what's it called? The Midday form. I do also like the Shiny Dusk form because Dusk form has the signature moves of both the Midday and Midnight, and they're all blue shinies. Which, as you probably had remembered earlier, blue shinies are one of my favorite shinies next to blacks. I'm not sure if anyone's taking this. Joey's going to want to take it, so I'll let him have it. It's also got the ability No Guard. So if No Guard is used in a battle, the Pokemon that you are attacking will never miss you, but you'll also never miss your opponent in return. So we're facing off a psychic type. This can be like one of 7 off the top of my head, which are Solgaleo, Lugia, one of the Lake Guardians, Mewtwo. Let's see, there's the 3 Lake Guardians, Lugia, no, not Palkia. People would assume he's a psychic type, but he's not. Psychic type legendaries. The Ultra Beasts are here. I think one of them is a psychic type. Man, I'm probably sounding like a fucking idiot right now because I don't think any of them are psychics. I know Guzzlord's a dark dragon. Buzzwole and Pheromosa are a bug fighting. Blacephalon is a ghost fire. Are any of them psychic types? Let me find out what all our legendary Pokemon and what all our psychic from those. By the way, I won't be able to catch this Mewtwo because I've already caught Mewtwo on my personal file here. Psychic. So it could be Mewtwo, which it is. But it could have been Mewtwo. It could have been Lugia. Could have been one of the Latios or Latios. I'm not sure if Deoxys is in this game, but if he was, he could have been an option there too. Uxie, Mesprit, or Azulf, or even Cresselia. Not many Unovan Pokemon that are actually psychics. Legendary psychics, at least. They're all dragons, yeah. None in Kalos were technically legendary shad psychics. I think the last ones are Solgaleo, Lunala. And then there's there's also Necrozma and his 2 forms aren't possible to encounter because they're made with both Pokemon that you find inside the raid dens. But yeah, it could have been Solgaleo, Lunala. Could have even been Tapu Lele. I forgot about Tapu Lele even existing. It could have been Cresselia, Mesprit, Azulf, Uxie, Latios or Latias, or Lugia. We won? Holy crap. You know, Mewtwo is usually like a really tough Pokemon to defeat. But we actually won. So let's see if we got any shinies here. Not the Gourgeist. It's not the Vespiquen. It's not the Lycanroc. So unfortunately, no shinies in our first run, just to be safe. I already know Gourgeist isn't it, because Gourgeist has purple hair. But to be safe, I always do this, because there might be a shiny that I don't know what they look like. And there's also that whole thing where I think Haunter and Gengar are available through here. And their shinies are impossible to tell apart. Well, Gengar's is almost impossible. Yes, please. Anything's fine. I always press the B button too many times. It's worth trying to press the A when you're mashing the A button to get past Nurse Joy's healing text in the original Pokemon games. We're gonna go back online. We're gonna do this a couple of times. I don't know how many times exactly we're gonna be doing this for tonight, but we'll probably stretch it out maybe to 2.5 hours, maybe just a 2-hour mark. It depends on how I'm feeling when I get to the end here. Because I was actually kind of wanting to do Jackbox, but as I don't have any kind of co-hosts with me, I wasn't able to get Jackbox set up. So I switched over to Pokemon Sword and Shield, or Pokemon Shield version, for shiny hunting, shiny lair hunts, because that's like my last resort. There's that, and I actually did want to play Pokemon Shield again, but I wanted an excuse to hook it up. Tonight at least, because I was actually planning on streaming all night tonight, so streaming tonight. So we have Cole, Jason, and I don't want to be offensive, but I don't know what that name is. I don't even want to say it's Japanese or Chinese because I can't tell which one it is. I'm going to take Clefable. I probably should have taken a more powerful Pokemon, or I took the tank as opposed to power, because when I play Pokemon, I like to be a power build as opposed to a tank build. But then again, like I said, I don't play competitive, so not like it probably really even matters if you play in competitive. Electric, so it could be Zekrom, it could be not a lot of options. I'm going to assume that they probably chose Karkle. Because Karkle is part rock type, which might know a couple of ground type moves. But I don't really know what that could be. It could be Xurkitree, because he's technically listed with legendaries. All the Ultra Beasts are for this particular circumstance, as normally they would technically be a subclassification. It's one of those weird kind of classifications with Fione, because technically it serves the kind of it's under the same kind of rulings that you can't use it in some spots, like other legendary Pokemon or mythicals even. But for whatever reason, people argue it's not mythical, as it's obtained through breeding, because when you breed a Manaphy with a Ditto, you get Fione, which is the only way you can obtain a Fione. So a lot of people argue that it doesn't work as a mythical because it's made through breeding, and legendary mythical Pokemon share the common trait of not being able to breed. They can have genders because the legendary weather genies, Tornadus, Landorus, and Thundurus, which I forgot completely, Thundurus was a electric flying type, has the male gender, and Cresselia is always female. Well, all the genies are male. Cresselia is always female. Latios and Latios were the first ever legendaries to have genders, as they are both male and female respectively. Holy shit. So never mind that thing about being able to one-shot them, because you technically actually can, as long as you have a way to do it. So my move is already decided, because it's going to be Meteor Mash. I had actually thought about playing some more Binding of Isaac for the stream, but the last time I played it was pretty terrible. Considering I did an attempt at the Isaac's Awakening challenge, and I ended up putting myself in a point where I soft locked because I had accidentally blown up the mirror. Which, if you guys want to see that stream, at the end of the video for this one on the VOD, if you're watching it through YouTube, of course, if you're even watching it this far in, at the end of the VOD, I will. I don't know why I say VOD. I'll just call it like the recording of the video. But the end of the recording for the video, whatever, on YouTube's feed, I will put in a link to go to the very first ever stream, which was last Mother's Day. And the reason why that there wasn't one last week on Sunday was because I pre-recorded an episode for the Pound Pals podcast, which is the first ever episode, which I kind of left a lot of things out. And it was pretty terrible. But it's whatever. I don't want it. Yeah, that's pretty much that whole thing there. If you guys want to see the original one, it'll be at the end of the video. It's about 2 hours long, maybe 2.5. I remember playing it up to the point where, because in the first one it was Binding of Isaac for the first half, and then the second half, let's go Jolteon. I don't know what they're going to pick. Probably Orbeetle. But I remember in the first half we played the Binding of Isaac, Repentance. And then in the second half of the video we did Yoku's Island Adventure, which turned out to be a giant game of pinball. And oh my god, that game was fucking fun. Like, I usually probably wouldn't be the kind of person you would assume to be fascinated by a pinball game, because pinball is, well, even then, pinball is kind of more like simplistic, as it's just a ball that rolls around and you gotta smack around with a bunch of paddles. I don't know why I would assume that you guys would probably think I was more sophisticated, because me and sophisticated is no. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun playing that pinball game, Yoku's Island Adventure. I do actually want to play that again sometimes. Maybe next Sunday, or if I decide to stream tomorrow, if my friends are able to join me on this one. Maybe I'll do some more Yoku's Adventure for the first half. Then the second half, we'll play Jackbox if anyone joins in, if I decide to stream at all. Because I want to see if I can get my friends to come with me on this one, and if they either forget, or they can't, or they don't want to, I'll see how I'm feeling, because that's kind of a big factor, is my health. If I don't feel, up to doing anything for the rest of the night, then I just kind of just want to lay around and watch videos. Another thing is that usually I like to stream on Saturdays, as Saturdays is my most commonly picked day to want to do things, as I work the next day on Monday. Or I work on Monday, as opposed to Sundays, where I technically have to limit how much I can do for that day. Like, because I can technically just stream all night if I really, really wanted to. If I can feel awake enough, and I could just caffeinate myself enough to be able to want to stay awake. But, on Sunday I couldn't stream all night, because it would have to be at most 3 o'clock, my limit, in the morning, because I have to work at 3 in the afternoon on Monday, and I don't get off work till 11 o'clock, is the reason why I don't stream on weekdays. Sure, I can, stream as soon as I get home, but I'm wore the fuck out when I get home, and I just want to, have dinner and go to bed. So I can rinse repeat process for the weekdays until my weekends come. And the main reason why, the main reason why I picked it on a Sunday for the first ever time. No, gravity. The main reason why I picked it out a Sunday for my first time was because that Saturday I was hanging out with my friends, and that's our D&D nights, unless we don't have one of our players because something had happened or whatever. So we just play Cards Against Humanity or something. But that's my D&D nights, and I don't get home till about 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. So that's part of the reason why I streamed on Sunday last time as opposed to doing it on Saturdays, because my main plan was to do it on Saturdays. So the time's looking to be about 1:13 in the morning. About to roll over to 1:14. I'm not sure what everybody else's time zones are. But that's what we got going pretty much right there. This is 1:14, so I'm probably going to be going off here about 2:30. So about maybe a little bit over another hour. Maybe a little bit under another hour. I don't know yet. So Jason wants Orbital. You can have him, Jason. So it appears that we actually have a different person with us in our group. Because it was I think a Japanese user before, and now it's an English name. So we have electric type. For the possibility that it could be thunderous, I'm gonna go rock type, because ground type moves are gonna be completely ineffective against them unless you're using a side guard, Which even then, if you're using a Zygarde for whatever reason, then you got to be cheating him into this because he's not available through raids. So it's Lyrion. I think it's Larion. Layer-on, yeah. Because it's layer and then on. I'm not going to be, the definitive pronouncer of Pokemon names. All I can really do to its Meteor Beam, or Meteor Mash, whatever, and it's not going to be very strong. So bear with me, everybody. In a way, it kind of reminds me of my days back when I used to be a Let's Player. I mean, I kind of do at times miss being a Let's Player, but at other times I kind of don't, because being a Let's Player actually stressed me the fuck out a lot. And the reason why is simply because I had to make sure that I got an episode out every single week, every single day of the week, because I had attempted to make sure that, I was consistent with uploads. And even then I didn't have, an editor, and my thumbnails were kind of, shit anyway. Not a lot of people really watched my videos to begin with, but that's not the reason why I quit. It was because I wasn't getting views. The reason why I had left was because it was just way too much stress on me. Because on top of having, pretty much a part-time job of being a YouTuber, I think it was also doing my part-time job at that time. It might have been my full-time job, actually, where I'm working right now. But I do remember how much crap I had to go through, because it was also around the time when I started it up first, was because Grandma was in the hospital for something. It might have been her getting her colon removed and when she got her colostomy. But actually, I think it might have been a little bit after that, because a year or two after being in the series for a little while, we got Scout. But that video, unfortunately, is gone, but there is a little bit of piece of the history with us still, which is nice, because it's a video that gets talked about a lot, actually, with my niece, because she used to watch it a lot, and then I went and got rid of all my old videos. And I forgot to back them up to my old hard drive. I forgot to back up all of them to my hard drive. But at least I do have most of them still. Like a lot of my old Let's Plays, like my Ape Escape 2 Let's Play, which admittedly was not very good to begin with. There was my Diddy Kong Racing Let's Play. That was a lot of fun, actually. I did really enjoy that Let's Play, except I got kind of lazy when it came to the last episode and didn't do a special for all the magic codes like I was planning to do. I probably should switch out, but I want to see if anybody else is going to take it first. Okay, Jason gets it again. Yeah, I should have done a whole thing where I showed off all the magic codes, because that was something I had said I was going to do, and I had kind of forgotten. And then I did my Ratchet and Clank playthrough. Oh, it's Tapu Koko, Electric Fairy. But I had done like a couple other series, like my Ape Escape series was pretty bad. I was doing my Ratchet and Clank series around that time, and a lot of the videos kept screwing up, and my capture card was a complete piece of shit. If I had a working controller for my PlayStation 3, I do have one, but it's a piece of junk. Like, I'd have to like tighten it or something, which I don't have the proper screwdrivers to do. Well, I'll see if I do sometime after the stream. I need a specific like head of a screwdriver on there to be able to tighten it down. But if I can tighten it down and make sure it's still going to be okay and work well, I'll probably eventually go back to playing Ratchet and Clank once more. I'm not sure if I'll be doing Let's Play series or not, because like I said, Let's Plays were not Let's Plays dropped off with me because of the whole thing and being able to have consistent uploads took its toll on my body. Because I was stressed out and worried that if I didn't do it, that people were just gonna get super fucking mad. And I died. So, yeah, there'll probably never be a time where I return to that kind of format. So the most related thing to a Let's Play you'll ever have is me just playing through games on a stream and then uploading it to YouTube for people who either missed the stream or didn't want to but want to see, the video to make fun of it. Which honestly, if you guys do go in the comments and, give me a bunch of shit for it, I honestly don't care. Most of you are probably just doing it to be funny anyway. Which, even then, like I said before, I can take criticism. It does not bother me one bit. Even then, I'm still kind of amateur when it comes to this whole streaming thing. So, any kind of constructive criticism or tips that could be given out there that anybody would like to provide, you can go ahead and do that if you'd like to too. I don't really mind. My calling out to help echoed feebly around the area, so we still won. It's actually really good. I actually thought we were kind of fucked there for a minute. Actually, I wasn't too worried about it. We weren't really that fucked. I mean, we don't have a water type on our team against a psychic, a fairy electric. I was thinking a fairy psychic because I have a Hatterene, which fairy psychic is actually a very nice typing combination, as 3 of the best Pokemon that have that typing combination are Hatterene, Gardevoir, and Tapu Lele. So looking over here, it says I have a viewer. Discord for small streamers. And Speechifies. It says I only have 1 viewer, but there are 2 people that are listed there. Unless somebody had joined in and it didn't just register it or something, but just know I do see you guys. And I thank you for showing up, at least. You guys are the real MVPs. If you're even watching this on YouTube too, you're an MVP. It's just something that kind of came to my mind immediately. So the Caracal is not shiny. The Orbeetle is not shiny. The Lairon is not shiny. And the Tapu Koko is not shiny. Well, shit. Alright. So that's just a couple wasted time. That's a couple of wasted timer balls again, but I'm still having fun. So I'm not really too bothered by that. Don't erase any other old records. Let's do another one. So I don't know how many viewers are currently here, or how long any of these viewers have been here. But in case if you had missed the beginning of this whole thing after that big, stream fail, this is just some max layer raids. We're going to be chaining to do these until we get a shiny Pokemon, or until 2 o'clock rolls around. So we got Bettina, 2 others who I'm not going to try to attempt to announce their names because I do not know how those letters or kanjis or whatever technical term for those are pronounced. So I'm just going to call them 2 others, or I should say the one with the Score Bunny profile and one with the Trainer Girl profile. Honestly, I'm not trying to upset anybody, but like I said, I think it'd be more fair to call them by that kind of name as opposed to trying to butcher their names outright or whatever. I don't like any of these Pokemon except for maybe Quagsire, so we're going to take Quagsire. I'm going to go over and get something to drink real quick. So our ending goal is Psychic. I'm not sure what they're choosing, so I'm going to take Swoobet. Oh, they wanted Lickitung. Excuse me for a moment. There we go. I was opening up this can. I didn't want it to be really loud in people's ears. Good old Lickitung. So, funny thing about Lickitung is that back in Gen 1, he could not learn Lick. But his tongue was always out. I made a terrible mistake. So we got Focus Miss, Scald, Toxic, and Amnesia. We're just going to use Toxic on it. Because poisoning the enemy is better than, attempting to hit him and doing absolutely nothing. And the Explode knows Focus Miss as well. I call it Focus Miss because that's what Pimp Knight calls it. There might be another YouTuber that calls it that as well, but the one that I know the most that calls it that is Pimp Knight. Alright, let's hit it again with a... Let's try Focus Miss. I do like this character here. Their creation of Gloria. Like... They got cute. They got like cute glasses on her. Because like I did like those a little bit when I had them on Kayame, and then I was doing a thing where holy crap, it landed. But I did a whole thing where I was buying all the clothes in the game, and then I decided that I wanted to make an all pink outfit. That way, because I also had at that time gotten a shiny Lopunny. I wanted that to be her follower Pokemon. Aside from Sylveon, as Sylveon's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. And Sylveon naturally is pink and white. Mostly white, but it does have a good amount of pink on it as well. But yeah, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon around that time, one of my all-time favorites besides Druddigon is Sylveon. Which you might see I have more Sylveon merchandise than Druddigon merchandise because Sylveon's more well-liked than Druddigon. But I had an all pink outfit, and I decided to throw it together for my shiny Lopunny, who I had named Duchess. So she can be her follower, that way she can be Kayame's follower Pokemon. Getting that shiny Lopunny too was actually through Raid Den, max layer chains. I don't know why I call it Raid Den layer chains, but it's max layer chains. It also reminds me of, when I got a couple other shinies, like, they were just complete luck. One of my favorite ones was, the circumstances behind my shiny Tyrogue. So, it's got nothing that will help benefit against a psychic type at the end, so we're going to leave it behind. Was it a psychic at the end? I think it was psychic, yeah. Yeah, it's psychic. I'm not sure which one they're going to go with. They're probably going to go for items, but even then we have another choice for an item. Or they might go for steel, because we have a chance to go ahead and go to bug. Yep. I forgot, because psychics' weaknesses are based around their fears. They're afraid of the dark, they're afraid of bugs, and they're afraid of ghosts. Yeah, I think it's ghost trump psychic, because it used to be that psychic was immune to ghosts. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. It's been a little while since I've talked about Gen 1 again, so please forgive me if I am missing it, if I have misinformed any of you. Always do your own research. Never rely on me. We got Quagsire, which actually has a bit of a type advantage against this Togedemaru. He's actually the same type in combo as Swampert. Ground water. Yeah. Togedemaru is psychic. No, not psychic. It's steel electric. I called him I said psychic because I'm thinking about the psychic type that we're fighting up against next. Or at the end here. Hey, Focus Miss landed for the Explode. Can we get 2 Focus Miss? You know, just for the... it missed. God damn it. I can tell by how long that text took. It missed. Which reminds me of another one of my favorite Max Layer stories, which I'll tell here in just a moment. So poisoning it isn't going to do any good because it's resistant to poison. Or it's immune to poison, actually. The only way that you can poison a steel type is if you have Salazzle. But yeah, I could tell that that was missing because of the fact that how long that had took to display the attack name from my Quagsire. But for the sake of what's it called? Sake of originality, I'm no longer going to be calling it Focus Miss. I'm going to start calling it Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast because it's got blast in the name, and you know, the fact of how often it can possibly miss reminds me of when I played my first ever Warlock. My Eldritch Blast landed kind of often, but it didn't land often enough that it, you know, got enough kills. And even then, you know, Eldritch Blast gets stronger and stronger, and its max amount of attacks, I think, is 4. Because it only goes up a certain amount of times in your Warlock levels. And Focus Blast has a max of 5 at standard. So it kind of makes sense why I call it Eldritch Blast. So, the Explode player wants the, Togedemaru, so he can have him. They can have them. Excuse me. Alright, so we're going to go to the Scientist Lady and do the bug route. Unless we're going to, you know, change things up and go Gorgeist. Which even then, technically Gorgeist wouldn't be a bad option either, because it's a ghost type. Yeah, just ignore me, I'm stupid. You're arguing against the Gorgeist. We actually faced this one off in our first chain of the stream. I actually kind of do like Gorgeist. I remember the event that they had where you could get shiny Gorgeists, and my buddy and I had actually got quite a few of them ourselves. I think I got about 3 of them through that method. Oh yeah, and the whole thing about how I knew it missed. One of my favorite stories that I like to tell. It's not going to affect it because it's already got paralysis on it. Damn it. But one of my favorite stories I like to tell was the time that I was doing a layer chain and I was facing off against the Delmise. No. It was actually a... Was I facing off against the Delmise? So either I was facing off against the Delmise or it was a Starry U or Starry Me. I can't remember which one exactly is inside of the pardon me. Which one's inside the raid dens? The max layers. Here I go fucking it up again. Anyways. The reason why I remember that one in particular was that I think it was the Starry Me. And on our team, we had a Delmise. Unless maybe it was a... Okay, either way, it was a Staryu or something that knew how to use the move Swift. And we had a Delmise on our team. And the thing that was weird was that the whole thing of Swift about the attack of Swift happening was it delayed to the point where you knew that it was going to miss. Here's the problem. Swift is one of those moves, like Magical Leaf, that never missed the target. So I was confused as all hell, thinking my game was bugged, because Swift never misses. Come to find out, it was because, I remembered now, Swift is a normal type move, and Delmise is half ghost, meaning that he is not affected by Swift at all. So I was like, wait a minute, Swift never misses. Oh yeah, Delmise is a fucking ghost type. So I thought it was kind of funny that one time when it missed. That Swift actually missed at that one time. Max Flare on the Berserker. One thing that's actually kind of interesting though was that the Berserker has Steely Spirit. I think it's a Steely Spirit Berserker. We have Togedemaru on our team. And Steely Spirit boosts Togedemaru's Steel type moves. Or it might just boost Steel types and Steel types in general. I don't remember off the top of my head because I never actually used one in battle before. So we're actually coming up on this thing as being my second longest stream ever, because my first ever one was I was attempting to do a 24-hour stream back in my very, very, very early days of YouTube. Not super early. I think it was probably close to the 6th-year anniversary when I was playing Fire Red. Remember it now. Yeah, I was playing Fire Red and I think something else on the side. I can't remember what game it was. So was Betna taking this? Betna is not going to take it. Fuck it, I'll swap out. Hope I don't end up fucking us in the end here. But, in one of my early days of YouTube, I had attempted to do a 24-hour live stream. Or at least a 12-hour live stream, actually. 12 hours. I'm not interested in swapping. And I had gone through 9 hours before I was to the point where I could not keep my eyes open. And it was a stream through YouTube. Back when streaming on YouTube was actually kind of fun. For me at least, because... Oh, it's Lunala. I've already caught my Lunala too, and he's shiny. My Crimson Moon. But, yeah, remember Oh, so Ghost isn't going to be very effective against him. Actually, it's going to be super effective against him. What was I saying? Ghost is weak to Ghost, and Psychic is weak to Ghost. Beagle, you need to go back to fucking trainer school. Yeah, I was in the early days of YouTube career, and I was streaming on YouTube. I wasn't really too big on actually streaming, mostly because I didn't understand how it worked. But now that I have a bit of a better understanding and I'm using Twitch, I like Twitch a little bit more until something else comes up where it's a lot better than using Twitch, because I don't think a lot of people use Twitch anymore anyways. I don't know. But I didn't like using YouTube's because it was a little bit more confusing. And for the fact that when I streamed on YouTube that one time, the video was gone. So, like the video that was recording it, I didn't have any access to it. Probably because I, saw that you could rewind it back on YouTube, and I thought maybe it recorded itself or something to that effect. But essentially, I didn't have access to the video anymore once it was done streaming, so that was one video that I know for sure I won't be able to recover at all. whole 9 hour live stream. But even then, that live stream sucked. Although it did have a few good things in there, like it was during the time that Isaac Anti-Birth was popular. And now that we have all of the Anti-Birth stuff in Repentance already, it's, not that big of a deal anymore anyway. Even then, I remember that stream did kind of suck, but I didn't actually enjoy doing that 9-hour stream. Like, a lot. I paid for it in the end massively, because I, couldn't barely stay awake for the entirety of the next day. Or week. But yeah, it was one of my first ever longest live streams I've ever done. So this Lickitung I can guarantee is not shiny, because I think it's yellow when it's shiny. Not the Togedemaru, and it's not the Gourgeist. Damn, usually after like 2 or 3 of them, we were like popping shinies out left and right. At least that's what it was with my friend. Like, one of our first ever ones we did, I got a shiny Lilligant, and then we did a second one, and I got shiny Stakataka. And then we started doing a couple more. He got Marowak, and then he got a fucking Heatmore, and then he got a Absol. Like, he was just popping them out left and right. I just don't know what it is with his luck. But, yeah, usually after like 2 or 3 of them, we're like popping out shinies left and right. But this one, we're just taking forever. Just get one of them. But even then, I'm not really doing this just for the shinies. I'm doing this for the fact that, I'm having fun playing Shield again. I haven't played Shield in probably about 4 months, maybe 3. It's been a good little while, and I've actually wanted to stream some Shield at some point, so here I am. So if you take Stunfisk, actually, yeah, I'm going to do a Stunfisk, mostly because Salazzle, I don't like Salazzle that much. It's quad weak to ground, and a lot of things know a ground type move or two, so it'd wipe it out almost instantly. It's a Dragon type. It's one of the Unova legendaries, or it's Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina, or one of the Latios, or Latios or Latias. So just for the sake of it being a dragon, we're all going to go Sneasel. Get a quick drink here. Alright, Dark Ice type. Which means it's quad weak to fighting. I don't think any of us know any fighting type moves. There actually is a way I can check that. The male trainer in the suit, that's like a really cool thing that they gave us in this DLC was those suits. Nope. I think it is weak to no, it's strong against ground type. What am I thinking? I guess weak to ground type because it's not sure why. Actually. But the suit was actually one of my favorite things they added for the male characters. Because I own both Sword and Shield. I've played more on Shield than Sword because Shield has a few more Pokemon in it that I like more than what Sword has to offer. And for the fact that I have way more stuff on my Shield file than I do on my Sword file. But the suits are one of my favorite inclusions for the male characters. And on my Sword profile, I do actually have my male character in a suit. And he's also got the same exact haircut as well. I honestly did like that, but the one thing that kind of disappointed me with the DLC was the whole thing of getting the Marnie outfit. Granted, playing as Marnie is kind of cool because Marnie is one of my favorite characters that they added to the game, but pardon me. I don't think we really needed as many Marnie outfits as we did get. And a lot of the new stuff they added for the female, like the dresses and the shoes, were kind of cool, I guess. Like, the party dresses especially are ones that I like on my character. Because they're really, really nice. And I really like seeing my character dressed cutely. As seen with the red party dress here in the, I think it's lace gloves. I honestly can't remember. But essentially she's all pink. But she does also have like the all black outfit, which is one of my favorite ones, with her hair up in a bun. Looking adorable as all fuck. So I don't know what it is, but it just seems like a lot of fun to me to play the girl character and make her look as adorable as possible. The dragon type. So, the Mahaguru $$ or Mahaguru $$ you can have the Sneasel. I myself don't like Sneasel. You can go to hell. Just kidding. I kind of like Sneasel. Everybody wanted to do the Indeedee. Normal Psychic, I think. Yeah, I think it's I'll be able to check here in a second, actually. But I'm pretty sure it's Normal Psychic, the same typing combo as Oranguru. So I think this is the male counterpart of NDD. Yeah, because the females have like the wider body, and the males have this weird like weird thing going on with their body. Psychic normal, yep. Same typing as Oranguru. So foul play. Just because I can. Here we go with our business guy. He's going through Dynamics. It's kind of cool he has glasses on his character. I mean, probably because the owner of that character probably has glasses in real life. That's part of the reason why I also wear glasses on my character, is because I also wear glasses in real life. But it's also because I wanted to match everything with the character. Unfortunately, the party dress doesn't have a pink counterpart. It's got like a red. Although you could pass it off as a very hot pink, probably. Or more of a darker pink. And I think it looks a little bit better than the pleated dress they do offer for your character. And we killed him without him having a single turn. Well, I think he did have a turn. Sorry if I keep, having to like stop and repeat stuff. It gets to that point now where my brain is just starting to take a bunch of words and overlap them over each other. So when I go to say something, it comes out as a big garbled up mess of words. Like a big old ball of words flying right at your face. When I'm intending to say them one at a time. And then my brain's just like when you're trying to say it. I'm going to stay with Stunfisk. And Simon is also going to not change Pokemon. Nor is Mahaguru, $$ and Ollie. I think we're going Ice because Dragon. I think this is Frostlass. A nice Pokemon who's as frail as glass. I forget what she's based on, but I know she's based on based on folklore. I know it's like I think it's like a yokai or an oni that lives in the snowy areas. And if you get lost and freeze to death, she eats you. Or something like that. Something to that effect. So, I'm going to max darkness. Just because I can and because it feels right. I was going to do Carl Weezer, but my brain's at that state where it's just throw a big ball of words at them. And then my throat's just like, don't even try to do a high-pitched voice, because I'm not going to let you. Alright. Gigantamax. Or Dynamax. That's the gimmick of this generation. Because then again, every generation has to try to be some kind of way of different. Whether it be through the, like, Mega Evolution, then there was the Z Crystals, and then there's Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing. Simply Frostlass. Aurora Veil can only be used whenever there are hailstorms in place. I'm pretty sure that's how Aurora Veil works, is if I think you have to use Aurora Veil after you used a hailstorm. But unless you have the Gigantamax variant of Lapras, a really nice water dark type, or water ice type. Water dark. What was I thinking of that being? I don't think there exists. No, there is a water dark type. I just don't remember what one it is. But Lapras, nice water ice type. Its Gigantamax signature move will allow you to actually set up an Aurora Veil after it's done its animation. It'll set one up automatically, which Aurora Veil is one of the best moves in the game. Well, one of the best defensive status moves in the game. But as far as like best moves in the game, they're probably Behemoth Blade and whatever Zamazenta's was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's like Behemoth Bash or something like that. And they turn it into Dynamax Cannon. Or Turnamax Cannon or something like that. I'm good without it, so nobody else wanted the Frostlass. Because like I said, it's a nice Pokemon, but it's as frail as glass. Some berries. So I wonder who our Dragon-type opponent is. Is it a Unova Dragon? Oh, it's Rayquaza from Hoenn. Oh, yay. Rayquaza, the reason why people do not like Mega Evolution. That's another thing, is that Mega Evolution kind of like fucked people. I wouldn't necessarily say it fucked people. More or less, it was just for the fact that it boosted Rayquaza and Mewtwo to lengths that they should not have ever been able to reach. So here's the problem with Mega Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza's stat total is the same exact stat total as Mega Mewtwo Y, the best Mega Mewtwo evolution, or Mega Evolution of them two. Of the two of them that are available to Mega Mewtwo. To Mewtwo in general, I should say. So, the problem with Rayquaza, not only did he have a stat total that matched Mega Mewtwo Y, but he could also hold an item on top of that, because he did not have a Mega Stone. What could have been considered his Mega Stone, he swallowed before you could fight him in the Delta episode of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Yeah, out of all Pokemon that could have gotten a Mega Evolution, like Dunsparce, or possibly fucking Druddigon, they gave it to Rayquaza. And we just killed the giant snake. Or the sky serpent. So believe it or not, Rayquaza is... I've already caught my Rayquaza? I don't remember ever, catching him already, but... Yeah, the Sneasel is definitely not shiny. I think it's a female Sneasel. That's a male Sneasel. The feather is what the difference to tell them between them is. So, nope. Ooh! Frostlass! Holy shit. This is all I can say is holy shit. Like, that is... I'm kind of glad that my friend didn't join me for this stream today, because I wouldn't have gotten that. Well, I probably would have got tomorrow, but even then, that's still awesome. Like, that was a major, like, I want to say it's a pog moment, but I know people will probably get tired of hearing that. I don't know, but yes, that was really awesome. Oh, we're already in the next thing. Jack Wantis and two other people I cannot pronounce their names. So who's he going? Who are we going with first? Nidoqueen. Poison Crown type. About 1:56 in the morning. I want to see if I can get one more before about 2:30. So War Turtle, Lilligant. Oh, I really wanted that Lilligant so bad. Let's take Altaria, because one of my favorite types of Pokemon are definitely dragon types. As you guys know, Dratigan is my favorite dragon type. Hello friend, you are online. When it comes to Pokemon, Dratigan is one of my favorite dragon types. I don't know what water type we're going for. What's at the end again? It's Psychic. So we're probably going to be going down the path of Sharpedo, because Water Dark right off the bat is very nice. But dragon types, grass types, and I think fire types are some of my favorite Pokemon. I know grass and dragon are my two favorites in general. Grass types because Bulbasaur is one of the most powerful and reliable starters you'll ever have on Gen 1. And Sceptile is one of my all-time favorite grass types when it comes to Pokemon in general. And grass dragon types are really awesome to have. Even though that their typing is quite weak to, ice, you have the option of being able to get good. I'm just kidding. But grass and dragon are two of my favorite types, and when they are comboed together, they are even more fun. Then when it comes to dragon types, there's Dratigan. I love Haxorus as well. Dratigan, Haxorus. Altaria is okay. And Tyrantrum. And Tyrantrum and Aurorus. More specifically, Shiny Tyrantrum and Shiny Aurorus, because Aurorus as like a white color is really, really beautiful, but their original colors are also really, really cool too. And then a blue Tyrantrum is just sharp as fuck. But as I said, blue colored Pokemon happen to be some of my favorites besides the black ones. Black shinies are shiny Pokemon black shinies are Pokemon that can never be topped when it comes to shiny colors. Aside from blue, in my personal opinion. But we are beating the Sharpedo's ass. Like, not even a chance. Sorry if you hear my chair pop a lot. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Probably because it's a piece of shit. Alright, let's throw a timer ball at it. So after this raid in here, I'm going to have to take a small break because I have to use the restroom. But, yeah, this has actually been quite a lot of fun. And I'm not saying that because of the shiny Frostlass. I'm saying it because I'm actually, having fun streaming. Not as anxious anymore as I once was. So, I'm staying with Altaria. We're going to do Jack Wantis. Or Jack Wantis. I don't know how to pronounce that name properly, so I hope I'm not butchering it. no matter what we do, we can always get to that dark type. So I'm going to guess we're going to go to Dreadnought because I want the shiny Dreadnought so bad. We're going to go Ditto, I think. Shiny Ditto is cool too. I don't really care. It's a lot better than what my original plan of shiny hunting was going to be for the stream, which would have been where I just one thing I really want to do at some point is do kind of like what happened with one night with a Proton John stream that I watched, where I was actually there when he was streaming it. Was he had taken Mario Party 3 or one of the Mario Party games and put it in the corner of his stream and streamed another game while that game played itself. And I originally was going to have my switch up device hooked up along with one of my controllers connected to the switch up and have it set to do auto egg hatching and just hatch eggs over and over until we got shiny Pokemon out of there, and then switched it up real quick and whatever. But I didn't know if I'd be able to do that, but now that I know how to actually hook this up to Streamlabs OBS, which I learned by myself, I might actually do that at some point in the future. Trying to figure out what happened to my one thing I have here with me, or had up here with me, but oh, it's right over there. Okay, it's about 202. So maybe one or two more layer chains, and then I have to get off here. We're going to hit it with a Dazzling Gleam. Actually, what does the most damage? 80, 95, 85. So, let's hit with the Dazzling Gleam. Just because I would actually do it with... our final destination is going to be a Psychic type, I think. And then I just now realized I'm screwing up I screwed up by calling this thing Ditto. It's just I thought Ditto was one of the only normal types you can encounter in the max layers. I should be paying more attention to that. I should have done a big list of research. I didn't end up screwing up. Because, I'm not saying that there's going to be that thing kind of happening, because I doubt anybody's going to be watching this on YouTube. They're going to see, like, over 2 hours. Nope. But, be those kind of people in the comment section. Oh, that's a nice looking Ditto there. It kind of looks like Munchlax. No, not everybody in this comment section is an asshole. There are some really nice people in the comment sections I've seen. Like, a lot of people will leave a thing here, like, this video starts here because there's like, maybe a thing at the beginning of the video that could have been from a VOD, or maybe getting set up, like, what happened earlier with my little stream screw up, because I could not get my Elgato to want to capture my Nintendo Switch. Which I'll be asking my editor if he will put in a little timestamp there to be like, hey, to skip all this setup bullshit, go to this time marker. And then even I'll put in two things. To skip all this to beginning of the game, go to here. To see the reason why it took this long, go to here. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to get to that either tomorrow or tonight, whichever way I'll be able to get this to him, because it'll be pretty late when I get off here. And I'll be good and ready to freaking go to bed. Alright, so we're whittling him down little by little. Scorching Sand. There we go. That's a really nice move. Ice Beam. God damn, Munchlax. Could you, like, die? So either I disconnected from the internet or somebody had lost connection to us. To me, I mean. Or us in general, like in the game. Because I never actually seen that warning before. And I got kicked out. That's weird. It's a perfectly polished game with no flaws whatsoever. So I'm going to pick Dark, because we're going up against a Psychic type here at the end. Okay, apparently I got kicked from the game entirely. So I'm on my own for the rest of this. Shit. At least I know that this will be quick, and I actually, technically, if I really wanted to, I could probably actually go to the BRB screen. And, you know, go do my thing I need to do. Oh, no, I can't. I got a timer. I do have battle animations turned off, so this will be a little bit faster. I don't know why they force you to have these when you go online or you play with somebody else, but if you have them turned off on your own, you won't have to see those lengthy battle animations. Sure, they probably put a little bit of work in putting them into the game, but I feel that if you can just avoid all that and get on with the game, that'd be a little bit better, you know? So those who I was playing with just a little bit ago, if you happen to be stumbling across this video, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm sorry. And you guys were actually kind of fun to play with, because you guys are really good. Hydro Pump. Booyag. Look, it can't move because it's paralyzed. Now, I don't remember how the Lilligant got paralyzed, because I don't know if Munchlax has like an electric type move that can cause paralysis. But if Lilligant got paralyzed because of Body Slam, that'd be some bullshit, because technically Dynamax Pokemon don't have a weight. And with the whole thing of... Because the whole thing of Body Slam is if you're heavier than your opponent, you paralyze them. But he has no... But he has no weight when he's Dynamaxed. Unless it only applies to the Dynamax Pokemon being able to be paralyzed through Body Slam. Which even then, if it did, that'd be bullshit. Because... You know, you're a fucking Dynamax Pokemon, and you don't have a weight, technically. I also realized that I got cheated out of that Munchlax, so... Hopefully that Munchlax wasn't really, you know, that important. Hydro Pump. Boosh. If this thing can hurry up and, you know, die, that'd be great. So, that Lilligant using Quiver Dance is actually a very nice strategy. It's only because of the fact that Lilligant has own tempo, so it cannot be confused by its own move, or by moves in general. It cannot have the confusion status altogether. Yeah, own tempo prevents confusion, and for some reason in Gen 8 it also disables the attack down granted to you by the Intimidate ability. So we're going to catch this Persian here. It'd be kind of cool if I can get a Alolan Persian, because it's one of my favorite shinies of all. It's also one of my favorite shinies when it comes to dark type Pokemon. I think I'm still going on the stream. I hope I'm still connected to the internet when it comes to that, because, you know, my Switch kicked me off. So I wasn't sure if the internet went out or if it was just my computer soaking up all the bandwidth or internet connection altogether. Because technically I don't think bandwidth has anything to do with internet connectivity. I don't know. Like I said, play with computers long enough to be able to understand how they fully work and how internet connection works. Alright, so I switched out of Altaria to the Meow, or the Persian, because having a dark type for this battle is going to be a lot easier. It's fucking Lunala again. Just for the fact that I know that I'm going to be able to attack this and do damage no matter what, I'll be right back. I'll leave the stream on for you guys. Alright everybody, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. God damn, these things take forever. But then again, the last Lunala fight also took a while. Let's use Snarl. Or actually, we're gonna put one's lower on this Lunala. Is it more of a physical? I think it's more of a... We'll figure this out. I think it's more of a physical defender as opposed to a spec defender. Then again, I don't use Lunala that much anyway, so I don't know. Although when it comes to Pokemon Sun and Moon, I did buy Moon version. And I bought Ultra Moon version whenever it came out too. Only for the fact that I like Lunala a lot more than Solgaleo. And I think we just lost. No, we actually got 2 more. We lose 2 more before we're finally done. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention throughout this entirety of the stream is probably because I am just assuming people follow me on Twitter. But, I actually did manage to get a hold of my copy of Van Richten's finally. Because back in February, when we found out about Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, my buddy and I had actually pre-ordered, well, my roommate and I had actually pre-ordered our copies. And here's what sucked. So first off, they didn't come out till May 18th. Which is fine. I can wait a couple months. The pre-order money didn't come out until May 18th. Amazon, not at any point did Amazon tell me they were going to do that. Guess who did not have the money to pay for the pre-order purchase that day? Granted, everything did get cleared up because Thursday came rather fast, and I pre-ordered them, and then they were set to come on Saturday. Well, I had ordered something that Thursday night, and it was set to come Friday morning. And both it and Vengeance came Friday afternoon, which was cool. So we didn't get a chance to get that Munchlax, but I can guarantee that this Sharpedo is not shiny, and the Persian is not shiny either. That's okay. So we're not taking anything with us. We ended up getting kicked out of that online thing there, so let me make sure I'm still connected to the internet. It kicked me off the internet entirely. I wonder why. Alright, so we're back online again. Let's embark on a Dynamax journey. Which, by the way, if anybody does want to follow me on Twitter, for any God-given reason, it's at Bagel3280 Tube. You know, I got a little bit of time before the invite others things pops up, so I'm going to throw a link in chat just in case anybody wants to follow. I doubt any of you want to follow because, not like I actually know, probably am worth following. That's just me being me, of course. I'll just throw my Twitter handle into the chat here. Okay, I guess I'll just type it out. It's Captain. And then, I choose my Pokemon. It's either a Cryogonal, Sudowoodo, or Glalie. Let's do Glalie. And then do the smiley face. Old school smiley face. Which is the colon happy. And I misspelled Twitter. I am really bad at typing while I'm trying to focus on the game too. Alright, so our end goal is going to be Dragon, but no matter what, I'm choosing Centiskorch. And everybody wants Centiskorch because it's like one of the best Pokemon in the goddamn Galar decks. So here's the thing about Centiskorch. Centiskorch is a bug fire type. So he's quad weak to rock. Well, Centiskorch has access to the move Fire Lash, which originally was a signature move exclusive to only Eatmore. Well, giving it to Centiskorch was a bad fucking idea. So Fire Lash, when it hits, is going to drop your defense stat. Which, in case you probably didn't know, is a pretty big fucking deal. your physical defense at least, is a pretty big fucking deal in some Pokemon. So, on top of that, Centiskorch can learn an electric type move, it can learn a grass type move, and it can learn a water type move, giving you coverage across all of its fucking weaknesses. So with it being able to learn Fire Lash on top of that is bullshit, because it can hit you with one Fire Lash, drop your defense stat, and then hit you with anything else, and there's a good chance that you're not going to survive it. Because it's also got a very good physical attack stat. At least I'm assuming it does. I'm pretty sure it does because that's why it's banned. Or at one point it was banned. But giving Centiskorch Fire Lash was Game Freak's first mistake. Its second mistake was giving putting Black Kyurem into the Galar decks. Because Black Kyurem is actually able to wreck house without having to try very hard at all. Because the problem is that it had access to quite a few powerful ice type moves when it came to Galar, and then on top of that, its only weakness was Rotom Heat. But Rotom Heat's abilities levitate, and with Turbo Blaze, no, Terravolt. Is it Turbo? It's either Turbo or Turbo Blaze. It depends. Black Kyurem as Turbo Blaze. Yeah. No, it's Terravolt. God damn it. His ability is Terravolt, which works like Mold Breaker, and disables the ability of Levitate, letting Earth Power be able to fucking destroy that Rotom Heat. So, for the fact of that, it was their second biggest mistake was bringing Black Kyurem to the Galar decks, because it was way too strong for its own good. And like you said earlier, Centiskorch being too strong for its own good. Another big thing that Game Freak did that kind of like sucks is that Gigantamax Pokemon have a way to be able to tell them, a lot of them have a way to be able to tell them apart from their non-shiny counterparts. Centiskorch looks the same no matter if it's shiny or if it's not, when it's Gigantamaxed. And of course, you're not going to know if you have a shiny Centiskorch till the very end of all this anyway. So, I'm going to say that I'm interested, although Luzia, or whatever her name is, I'm only saying her because I'm mixing up the whole thing in Spanish is, what's it called? The whole thing where Spanish put the A's at the end for female and O's for masculine. So that could be a guy with that name. I don't really honestly I've never actually seen that name, to be completely honest with you guys. That seems pretty unique. And that's another thing about us people in general. All of us are unique in our very own special different ways. So, I'm not going to try to attempt to pronounce your name anymore. The one who wanted Centiskorch first, neither of us got it because it was actually the one at the very end. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Emolga, electric flying type. So Emolga is a flying squirrel. It's also the Pikachu clone of the Unova generation. Or Gen 5. I always call it the Unova generation because it's like my favorite generation of them all. Is Unova. So this is our last raid chain, or max layer chain for the night because it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Or 2:30 in the morning, and it's 3 hours on stream. Almost 3 hours on stream. But, yeah. If you did actually attend the stream, know that even though if you didn't chat and then talk in the chat box, whatever, just for the fact that you had showed up at all means a hell of a lot to me. And if you're watching this on YouTube and even getting this far, which is highly doubtful because you have to go through a lot of boring shit to get to this point, or if you're using it for just, background noise, every view counts. Just like on streams. But if you attended the stream at all, or if you're watching this on YouTube, just know that you mean a hell of a lot to me, and you're the real MVP. And that sounds really corny to be like that, but you little cocksucker. But it means a lot to me. It makes me want to keep doing this kind of stuff. Honestly. Thank you. So let's try to catch this little bastard. So it's got the ability Static, which if you hit it with a physical move, it causes paralysis. So another really annoying thing when it comes to I don't remember what I was going to say now. Doesn't matter. Good without it. So our friend there that had the Scoliopede is going to be taking the Emolga. So our ending destination is Dragon, so it's either Scyther or I think it's Flareon. And it was Scyther. Seeing that Flareon actually reminds me of one of my favorite Twitter artists, Kitsu Akari art. She's really awesome. I used to talk to her a lot. And then I kind of stopped, and she kind of stopped talking to me too. Nothing against her. It's just more or less she's had a lot more important things to do with her life, which is understandable. Like I said way before in the beginning of the stream, when it comes to other people with that, like that. But yeah, she's actually really, really awesome. Remember, I used to talk to her a lot. I used to actually be part of her old Discord server. I'm sure it's probably still the same Discord server as it was way back when I was part of it. But the main reason why I had just left is because it wasn't because of her. It wasn't because of anybody in the group. It's just I didn't really, use Discord all that much, and I myself am not a very sociable person as it is. And a lot of people just kind of ignored my existence to begin with. So I kind of just left because I didn't feel like wasting any more space inside of that server where somebody else could be taking that spot there. So now instead all I do is, like and retweet a lot of her work to help get it, out there. Like everybody, like other people will do. Or, send her a coffee once in a while. Because she's, awesome. So let's go ahead and catch this Scyther here. Just stop talking about, What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, it was the whole thing with supporting Kitsu Akari art. If you guys, give her a follow, because I used to shout her out a lot in my old videos as well. But, so it's a lot like Parfairy, who is responsible for the creation of, well, do I want this? No. Who's actually responsible for the drawing that you guys see on my Be Right Back screen, which is my dog dragon character, Buster B. He wears a Druddigan hoodie because Druddigan is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And for the fact I'm Beagle 3280, I wanted to keep him as being a dog, but I also really wanted to have a dragon, so I combined the two of them and made a dog dragon character, which is pretty fucking epic. But yeah, she's responsible for that one. She actually was the one who gave him pants, because originally I never actually gave her any kind of idea of what kind of pants to give her. Oh yeah, Zekrom. but I actually never really gave her any kind of idea what kind of pants to give him. That was kind of like her artist flair that was thrown on there, and honestly I liked how it looked, because red and blue are two of my favorite characters next. Red and blue are two of my favorite colors next to black. And for the fact that he already wore a black and red, a red and blue hoodie, just for him being also having black dragon features and him having red pants, this clashed really well together. And of course, you know, at Parfairy, you guys can drop a follow to her because she deserves all the love and attention that you can possibly, you know, give to her artwork. I only say that because if I was saying it as in a general kind of like thing, it probably would have sounded a lot weird. A lot more weird than what it had probably any kind of intention to ever have to be. Also, if the volume thing is a little loud, I'm sorry. If I don't have it at a certain volume, it's too quiet. And I have my mic raised to a certain point where it actually captures my voice better. Because believe it or not, in the Pound Pals podcast episode 1, I actually had to go to a website and enhance the volume because it was too goddamn quiet. I don't know what happened. Honestly. I felt really dumb. Because I was probably talking too quietly, or I didn't have my mic loud enough. So I had my mic on full volume, and I've seen a couple of times where it hit the red. I apologize for that. We hit 3 hours, and we're also at 2:32 in the morning. We are almost done with this stream, of course. This Zekrom is either going to kill us, or we will kill it. I'm going to have to go with the top option, because I don't think any of us are strong enough that we can probably wipe this out really quickly, unless Wilmer knows Ice Beam. And Emolga probably only knows electric type moves and maybe one flying type. High horsepower, there we go. Brine is really nice because I think it does double damage when you're past half. Noble Roar. Drops the attack stat and spec attack. And I couldn't attack due to paralysis. Thanks, Emolga. I had to step back for a moment. My back was starting to hurt. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So he's in the phase where he's going to start attacking more than once per turn because raid Pokemon can do that, which is annoying. And I got a feeling that we're just in general all around fucked here. Unless, of course, that Nidoking can hit it with a Max Quake and get it to the point where it's going to kill it, or this can heal us. Light screen. I spoke too soon, and I kind of actually saw that fucking Zekrom beating us, in all honesty. Zekrom is a really strong dragon type. Okay, well that was the last of our layer chains for the night, and I do thank all of you for, like I said before, coming out either to the stream or watching this on YouTube. So let's see if we got any last minute shinies. I don't think we did, but never hurts to check. Nope, just the frost lasses or take away from tonight. Anyways, I'll see you guys possibly either tomorrow or next week. It all depends on what the schedule's looking like. Anyway, thanks again. Bye.